Boom! Rise and shine. I got my nose running in the morning marijuana motivation time. That's per usual. It's because I'm a living organism. And that's what I wanted to talk about this morning. The other little living organisms around here that create pollen like to make my nose run. And I sleep with the fan, so every morning I do the show, it sounds like I'm kind of out of breath. It's only because I can't breathe through my nose. That's okay. I love my life. And we're going to start the show. Hold on. Boom, baby. Boom! Get in this game with me. Beer on shirts. We in the game. That's right. Your boy owns Beer on Shirts. In case you love beer, I got a shirt for you. In case you love life, I got a show for you. And that's why all lives matter. It wasn't just one section of people, right? Unfortunately, we tend to be myopic this way. But as your boy Marky Saint just learned, there were more than just that. The Bengalis were actually forced, as I talked about yesterday, into the tea trade, into the opium trade, forced to do all sorts of slave labor. It's horrendous. The Africans would get their arms chopped off from the Belgians, right? This Belgian guy would chop hands off if they weren't working fast enough or were found stealing or running away or stealing the gold that they were supposed to mine. It's our lack of empathy. We forget that we're all human. Just like the smart, genius man of the hour, Martin Luther King, would say, an injustice somewhere is an injustice everywhere. Nobody wants to be abused. Nobody wants someone to treat them inferior, but it's some people's expectation of elitism, right? This is where people call privilege, where we forget where we come from. We forget how we want to be treated, and we forget that we're human. Living on an organism. We like to think the planet's just a rock going around another rock, but it's an actual system. And we are inside of the system. I'm not talking about a government system. I'm talking about an ecosystem. A system that involves us, that we can breathe. Like I was talking about, breathing. Your price for the free rent on this planet and the free oxygen and the free water and the free land, for the most part, because I don't know anybody else that was making land, right, is to be a better human being. Not only better to yourself, most people want to just be better to themselves. No, better to others. That's why it's called Saintsgiving. As a saint, I'm beyond blessed. I pinch myself and I cry often just how blessed my life is. And not to be an elitist, not somebody, oh, I went to college, I graduated college homeless. I've said it multiple times, but that doesn't make me better than the next man. When we're out feeding the homeless, you don't know whose story is what story. Everybody has an issue. You need to cancel your subscription. We all have imperfections. That's why it's called Saints Addiction. And for those of us that like to pretend that we're holier than thou, that's not Saints Brand. Saints Brand was about equality. It's about loving on all levels. Loving myself, loving my environment, and loving my fellow man. And now I'm finally starting to sound like the Magna Carta or something. But that was the golden rule. My friend had a meme. I don't really show off a lot of memes, but I probably should. But of all the religions having the golden rule at heart, Confucianism, some other religion I never heard, Buddhism, we all want to move away from suffering. And if we're enacting that suffering upon someone, we're fucking up. Doing my research this morning, the slave trade was before Jamestown in Brazil and continued after we emancipated the slaves here in our own country. It still took 100 years for it to get right. It still goes on in other countries. There's still a sex slave trade. Why are we still having poverty? Why are we still having hunger? And why are we still have slaves? Those things are the human, black eye of our whole existence. Our human imperfections negates people that are hungry, like in Ethiopia. Oh, that's happening over there. Or, they deserve it. Or, oh, they didn't work hard enough. We literally have robots to do the work for us. Heavy lifting. If you don't believe it, go look at a tractor. That's a robot. It's a machine. But we're getting into robotics. And that was the whole turn of the century where all of us were looking at the powers that were coming about us. So what we don't have to do is separate the cotton from the seed by hand. I heard someone, it took like a pound, like 4 hours to get a pound of seed sown. And then all of a sudden there was the cotton gin. And then slavery exploded. As soon as we need effort, as soon as we need manpower, we have no problem subjugating someone. As long as we can get our greed in our hands, we have no problem subjugating our own environment. We are literally cutting ourselves off at the feet, at the hands ourselves. We act like it happens to someone else, but it's all circular. I was in Cambodia, the first time I've ever been embarrassed to be an American. We were in the high school that was converted to the killing fields of Phnom Penh. And if you don't know anything about it, go check it out. They killed a third of their own people. Two-thirds? Two-thirds of their own people. Going back to year zero, putting teachers out in the fields, everybody's got to make rice, kind of like the Russian thing. The communist belief. These ideals, we all want an ideal life. But to live an ideal life means you got to stop the suffering. You got to stop your own suffering, our mental suffering, our emotional suffering connected to that, our environmental suffering where we pretend like we don't care, but we will have to care because we have to breathe air, we have to drink water, and we have to get along. I'm like, what are you talking about, Saint? Millennia of wars, different religions, different countries, your side, my side. That mentality's got to stop. It's got to change. What I'm looking forward to in the future is for all of us to be one being, one human race on one planet. We don't have a planet B. We don't have a plan B. There's no getting off of this by ourselves. We're all in this together. And the quicker we work together, the easier the work becomes. I think of old mentalities where someone loses something, like the Irish coming here. There's not enough job for them. The Chinese built the railroads. Brazil built coffee. We literally took up coffee to not be like our British controllers. They're the tea drinkers. We're going to be the coffee drinkers over here. There's so much things that we control in our identity. We're American. I'm a certain color. I'm a male, female. Who cares? When I used to meet people around the world and they would ask me, where are you from? I'm like, I don't answer that question. I hate that question. It's the same thing as like, what do you do for a living? Ask me something no one else has asked me. Because where I'm from might be from the last place I stayed, even though I wasn't born there, or the place I was raised. And as travelers, we can be anywhere as everywhere at the same time. There's no separation here. All of us bleed. All of us breathe. But not all of us live. That's what separates us. The decision to be a better human being, or the decision to hate on another human being. I hate something. Now you're saying I hate things. You're literally saying I'm a hater. Instead of I love things. And just stay in the love. Stay in the love, guys. There's so much separating us from the system to the government to monetary involvement. Like I said, get yourself some new friends. Get expanded into the world. Find other religions. Check them out. Not that you have to join them, but look at them. So many people have judgments. I have this to go with. This is my judgment. And it's like, you've never experienced it differently. It wasn't until I was in Muslim countries that I realized how ridiculous our hate for this West versus East mentality is. We don't understand. And when we don't understand, we get confused. And then we get our emotions hurt. What a mind-blown situation. Get some understanding. Get yourself some different friends. Get yourself some perspective. Travel. Go be free. I'm not always going to be in this backyard. In fact, can't wait for the next show. The show after that, I'm going to be a different place. I'm not even going to tell you where I'm going to be. It's all magic. That's what I do now, the magic. Little magic on top of us. And that's what I'm sharing with you this morning. My magic, my heart, my love for the world, for people. I love people. I know people, I hate fucking people. Someone said that the other day, I was in the car with them. I'm like, first of all, you just said you're a hater. Second of all, what the fuck's your problem? You're just a hater. And I wonder why you're filled with hate, because you don't love yourself. And most people don't want to admit that. When they're being angry, they're being angry at themselves. Those are the people that need love most. You don't need to be punching people and the old people in the face. That's not what's going to teach them. Hate because hate. I know you're angry inside. I get angry too. I say stupid shit all the time. My emotions. I can express myself better. Yep, there's me. Foot and mouth. But here we are. I do this show so we can be better. That's what saints do. We light up the world. And if you got on light up with me, go to Saints Brand. Go like it on the Facebook. Go to Saints Addiction. Go subscribe on the YouTube and share this with your friends. I appreciate you this morning. Thank you for taking the time out. Chirp along with me in the birds, and the beers on shirts, beards on shirts, beer on shirts. Marky Saint, shirt and an hour, that's Saints Addiction. Peace and love, and as always, Chigathon. Blessings.